It's over 1,300 flights that have been cancelled. And ostensibly, the reason for this new, this chaos and confusion that we saw in airports across the country, only with this one airline, mind you. The reason for this was the new flight and crew rest rules that were put out by the DGCA. This was a rule that was meant for all airlines. Air India, Akasa, you name it. Every airline had to follow this. But only Indigo had all of these botched up problems. Now, none of the other airlines did such a hash job as Indigo did. Indigo's defense is they are the largest, they have more, flights, they run more sectors, they run at more times during the day than any other airline. But none of that excuse sort of really cuts it. Because at the end of the day, it just boils down to inefficiency and lack of planning. And for that, it's the passenger who's had to pay. And after a full 3 days of chaos, instead of pulling up this airline, punishing this airline, even cancelling its licenses just to make an example, even if it is for a few days, the Aviation Ministry and the DGCA, which is the regulator, instead of hauling Indigo over the coals, has actually put the new rules in abeyance till February so that Indigo can comply. I mean, it's mind-boggling. It's amazing that one private company has so much of a hold over an entire sector. It's basically like a monopoly or a duopoly in that sector. So much so that the government has deemed this airline too big to fail, and instead of punishing this airline for violating the rules, for not being prepared for the rules, and actually punishing the passengers because of its own ham-handed operations, the DGCA, the regulator, and the ministry is actually suspending its own rules in order to favor one company. I mean, it is absolutely inexplicable and mind-boggling that the rules are being bent because one company can't plan to ferry its passengers. I want to first play out a series of bite belts that we've got from Mumbai, Chennai, Delhi, Bangalore, the busiest airports in the country, and how in airport after airport, Indigo has let down its passengers. And now, like I said, even the DGCA and the ministry seem to have let down the passengers.
किसी का सामान 7 दिन नहीं मिला हुआ है, किसी की बैग ओपन है जिसमें गोल्ड रखा गया हुआ है। ये क्या है? मैम, वेट, टेकिंग मनी फ्रॉम अस। हाँ, दिस हाउ दे बिहेव।
समझ में आ गया कि आपके पास मैन पावर नहीं है, बट हमें कुछ भी रिस्पांस नहीं कर रहे हमारे लगेज के थ्रू कि आपको कब आपका लगेज मिलेगा। इवन दे आर सेइंग कि लगेज नहीं मिलेगा।
मेरा फ्लाइट था कल लखनऊ का।
किसी का सामान 7 दिन नहीं मिला हुआ है, किसी की बैग ओपन है जिसमें गोल्ड रखा गया हुआ है। ये क्या है? मैम, वेट, टेकिंग मनी फ्रॉम अस। हाँ, दिस हाउ दे बिहेव।
समझ में आ गया कि आपके पास मैन पावर नहीं है, बट हमें कुछ भी रिस्पांस नहीं कर रहे हमारे लगेज के थ्रू कि आपको कब आपका लगेज मिलेगा। इवन दे आर सेइंग कि लगेज नहीं मिलेगा।
मेरा फ्लाइट था कल लखनऊ का सवेरे 6 बजे का, और देन दे कैंसल्ड इट एंड देन दे रीबुक्ड अस इन 12 PM फ्लाइट। अंदर कैंसिलेशन का मुझे बता दिया गया कि कैंसिल हो गया है 2-2.5 घंटे लाइन में लगने के बाद, और सामान हमें 2-3 दिन बाद मिलेगा बिकॉज इट्स ऑलरेडी ऑन द बे। नाउ आई गॉट द मैसेज इन द मॉर्निंग दैट द बैगेज इज एट लखनऊ एंड यू हैव टू डू अ वेब चेक इन फॉर योर रिटर्निंग फ्लाइट। दिस इज व्हाट एग्जैक्टली दैट दे आर डूइंग।
यहाँ 8:30 बजे आ गए, जिस काउंटर पर जा रहे हैं उस काउंटर पर उधर जाओ पता करो, इधर जाओ पता करो, उधर जाओ पता करो। यहाँ 4 घंटे से लाइन में लगे हुए हैं।
और नाउ आई पेड 34,000 टू गेट वन टिकट फॉर स्पाइसजेट में 34,000 रुपीज देके टिकट ले और इमरजेंसी जाना है। दिस इज हॉरिबल सिचुएशन, केओटिक हो गया पूरा समथिंग।
ट्रिप के लिए आए थे, हमारा आज आखिरी डेट है ट्रिप का और हमको आज रायपुर पहुंचना है। परसों से ऑफिस है हमारा।
बेटी की थी आज 3:30 बजे की, तो 11 बजे मैसेज आया है कि भाई रद्द हो गई है। 3:30 तो रद्द हो गई है, तो आप फिर इनकी बुकिंग क्यों लेते हो?
Tomorrow they are providing us the flight. We have a wedding to attend, so it's a mess, total mess. There's no information, there's nobody to talk also. In queue you're standing for long hours, so it's a total mess. We are really disappointed with Indigo.
Now, passengers have raised serious concerns about the operational lapses that have happened at India's largest airline. Widespread delays, basically from crew and roster mismanagement. There were massive planning gaps, and all of this caused aircraft basically was sitting idle on the tarmac for hours and there was no crew to fly them. And this was a crisis that was waiting to happen. The airline reportedly expanded its winter schedule this past October without sufficiently expanding its crew strength. Passengers said that they were left in the dark. They received little to no communication. The delays stretched for hours. The cancellations mounted. In fact, what was worse and why the frustration was deepened for many passengers is many of them complained of no food, no refreshments, no accommodation, and no alternate flights. Some travelers even said that refunds or alternative options were not offered, forcing them to pay out of pocket for the other airlines, other flights, who, by the way, again, are not holier than thou. They had jacked up their prices. Today, if you were to check for a Delhi-Mumbai flight, you were not getting anything for less than 40,000 rupees return. Even as new aviation norms have come into effect, phase-wise, this airline made no visible operational adjustments. They just kept buying time to implement these new changes. Many allege that they put a hiring freeze, and that hiring freeze has been in place for the last 6 months, despite, by law, by court order, the airlines being asked to comply with these new rest rules for the flight and for crew. They used, understaffed manpower. Critics have also argued that this crisis may have been years in the making, pointing to a long-running lean manpower approach that was intended to keep just one thing high, that is profit margins. It made 8,000 crore rupees profit just in the last year at 80,000 crore revenues, and they couldn't hire a few pilots more. More reactions, and then I'll go across. We've got a reaction from the minister as well. We'll play that out in a second.
I, on behalf of all of us at Indigo, would like to extend our sincerest apologies for the major inconvenience this has caused to many of our customers on account of delays or cancellations. We expect tomorrow to have cancellations below 1,000. The support of DGCA in providing specific FDTL implementation relief is of great help. Given the size, scale and complexity of our operation, it will take some time to return to a full normal situation, which we do anticipate between the 10th and the 15th of December. My colleagues, all the great Indigo teams and frontline staff have been working relentlessly to address the situation. Rest assured, we are doing everything in our control to not only restore your trust and belief, but strengthen it further over time. Thank you for your patience, understanding and kindness during this difficult time. We shall keep you updated on an ongoing basis.
So that's the Indigo CEO offering an unconditional apology. What he's not saying to you is that this was an entirely avoidable problem only if Indigo had planned it a little better. Could they have avoided this crisis? Absolutely yes. So these new rules, it's called the flight duty time limitation rules. These raise questions about how long this crisis has been in the making. So here's how it unfolded. These are not rules that have been implemented overnight. In January of 2024, a full almost 2 years ago, the DGCA issued these updated rest time and duty time rules to address rising concerns that there was massive pilot fatigue. These new norms were originally scheduled to become effective on the 1st of June 2024. But even before that deadline could come, the implementation was deferred after all airlines basically requested for more time to realign their crew planning and their scheduling systems. By June of last year, the DGCA formally asked airlines to submit a detailed roadmap on how they plan to comply with these revised rules. 1 whole year later, phase 1 of the rollout began on July 1st earlier this year, July 1, 2025. 15 of the 22 revised rules took effect in July, and much of it went on, the operations went on pretty smoothly. But on the 1st of November 2025, the remaining 7 clauses were enforced, and that includes nighttime touchdowns. It includes, how much rest should be given to pilots in a week, how many night flights they're allowed to operate in a week, so on and so forth. This was the second stage of the DGCA's plan for flight crew rest and travel rules. But as the chaos unfolded across major airports, Indigo today has received a one-time extension allowing the airline more time till February 2026 to fully comply with these revised FDTL norms. So, Union Civil Aviation Minister Rammohan Naidu was asked about this. How can you make such an exception? Because basically this is a court order, the rules have been framed after a court order, and they've got 2 years. They've got 2 years to implement these rules. How are they being given yet another extension? Our colleague Payal Mehta caught up with the Civil Aviation Minister, and this is what he had to say.
Right now is Union Civil Aviation Minister Ram Mohan Naidu. Ram Mohan Naidu ji, over the last 36 hours, more than 1,500 flights cancelled, hundreds of passengers left stranded. Why did it take the government so long to jump into action and make Indigo really realize that they had to put the customers first?
No, it's not that we jumped into action right now. Right from day one, not only 36 hours, but 3rd of December, when this started to unfurl. That is when the ministry immediately went to the ground level. We have discussed with all the stakeholders on the intensity of the situation, and our first priority has been to give the best of the facilities to our passengers. We wanted the inconvenience that the passengers are facing at the airports to be at the minimum, or if not, nothing at all. So, according to that, we have started our operations. We have discussed thoroughly with all the stakeholders, DGCA, BCAS, AAI, Indigo also, other airlines, everyone together, and we put our priority to bring normalcy in the situation. So it is with that effect we started, and now you're seeing what we have tried to do for the last 2 days. You are trying to see the effect, because at this moment, I can tell you that the Delhi airport, there is no longer any waiting. Things are moving smoothly at this moment, and likewise in other metro cities also, because of the immediate steps that we have taken regarding this.
But Indigo took them so many hours to realize that they had to provide refreshments. That was only after you held a meeting with them. They had to provide alternate accommodation. Isn't this criminal, to say the least?
No, if this is the situation that there are any lapses, then definitely, like you said, there needs to be an action that needs to be taken. That is why the DGCA we have put not only on what is happening at the airport, but why did that situation come only for Indigo? Because one reasoning that we have is that because of the new FDTL norms that have come from November 1st, that itself 1 month has already passed. Other airlines don't have any complaints regarding this. Why is that Indigo is facing this problem all of a sudden? So we are going to inquire in total depth of this situation, and it is an inquiry not just to keep it on the paper, but we are going to take necessary action so that one, it becomes a precedent, and 2, it doesn't repeat itself in the future.
You know, what we do here from the government time and again is that inquiry is being held. Ramonji, you understand the situation. What do you mean by inquiry? What kind of action can Indigo really face over here? Because, you know, the facts are there for everybody to really see. Is it just going to be a warning which is going to be given to them? Public wants to see if they're fined, you know, for such a mess that they've created.
Absolutely. We are looking at a fine only here. But the extent and the whole situation that has unfolded, we have to have a complete knowledge on how much is it. So for that, the inquiry is going to sit, and with the, if you look at the order, the committee which has been placed, there is a strict, this thing that the enforcement action is also going to be there by the DGCA. So this is not just an inquiry for the moment or for pleasing anyone. This is for a strict action. We are taking the inquiry up, and it will go to the highest level.
Mr. Naidu saying there's an inquiry, Indigo will be made to pay. Well, the fact of the matter is, as of right now, Indigo has failed its passengers. The DGCA has given in. It's basically given yet another long rope to Indigo. The question is, who's going to take responsibility for passenger safety? You can call in. The number is flashing on the bottom of your screen. I want to open this up to our guest. Captain C.S. Randhawa is president of the Federation of Indian Pilots. We're also joined by Sanjay Lazar, aviation expert. Minu Wadia is founder president of the Federation of Airlines Pilots. Ajay Bapotra is a passenger who's stranded at the Mumbai airport. And Afran Shah is also a passenger who's stranded at the Mumbai airport. We'll get Afran in just a second, but I want to go to Mr. Bapotra, who was stranded in Mumbai, and I believe you seem like you're in a car now. What exactly happened to you, Mr. Bapotra? You know, what did the airline tell you? Okay, Afran is there. Let's go to Afran. She's at the airport. Afran, if you can hear me, what is happening there?
Yes, sir.
Yes. What is happening?
Ma'am, actually, so the thing is like that. ये मेरा फ्लाइट था यहाँ से कल का 4 तारीख का अराउंड 11:40 का. मैंने 6:30 को यहाँ पे लैंड किया एयरपोर्ट पे. मैं वहाँ पे गई, मेरा बोर्डिंग हुआ टर्मिनल 1 पे, और फिर मुझे वहाँ पे हम बैठे थे अराउंड 3 आवर्स वी वर सिटिंग देयर. 12 बजे का लैब बोला कि 12 बजे आ रहा है, बोर्डिंग वगैरह सब हो गया, चेक इन भी हो गया. जब हम आ गए बोला कि प्लेन आ गया मैम, आप लाइन में लग जाइए. I was there with my son, 7 years old kid, okay? तो since from 6:30 मैं अपने घर छोड़ के आई हूँ. मैं यहाँ पे कल सुबह 3 बजे तक यहीं पर थी मैं. फिर मुझे यहाँ से गाड़ी में, उसके बाद मैं अपने घर गई 5 बजे. वहां से मैं अभी वापस से आई हूँ सर। उन लोग झूठ ये कर रहे हैं कि आपका फ्लाइट कैंसिल नहीं हुआ है, लगेज जब लोड हुआ ही नहीं है। सर दिस इज माई टिकट। ओके, मुझे मेरा लगेज चाहिए।
ले लीजिए, जिनका भी लगेज का है वो पर्ची ले लीजिए और उनको लगेज हैंड ओवर
टिकट है और मैं आपको
बैगेज चेक करेंगे तभी वो पहचान कर पाएंगे।
नहीं,
हम कल से नाच रहे हैं, हमको पागल बोला जा रहा है सर।
ऐसा नहीं बोलना है, सब परेशान है।
यस
अफरान, ये बताइए कि आप वहां 2 दिन से हैं, आपके लगेज क्यों नहीं वापस दे रहे हैं वो लोग? What are they saying?
वो लोग सिर्फ फेक आपको टिकट्स बुक करवा रहे हैं, जबकि टिकट बुकिंग काउंटर बंद हो चुका है। स्टिल दे आर बुकिंग द काउंटर्स, टिकट बुक हुए जा रहे हैं, जबकि फ्लाइट कोई नहीं हो रहा है। और जब फ्लाइट फ्लाई ही नहीं कर रहा है तो आप बुकिंग किस चीज का ले रहे हो? उन्होंने हमको 18 घंटे रुका के रखा एयरपोर्ट पे। मेरे बच्चे के पाँव में छाले आ गए थे, स्वेलिंग आ चुकी थी। ना कोई मेडिकल अटेंशन दिया, ना फूड दिया, ना पानी दिया फॉर 17 आवर्स। उसके बाद हम रोड पे आके बैठ गए थे। हमको लगा आप यहाँ से चले जाए, आपका लगेज आ गया है करके। आज बुलाया, आज बोलता है, एक बंदी बोलती है हमको कि आपका लगेज नहीं मिलेगा, आपको जो करना है आप करो। हम जाए कहाँ पे जाए? वो लोग रिफंड भी नहीं कर रहे सर। दे आर नॉट इवन रिफंडिंग आवर मनी।
So you are not getting alternate flight, you are not getting refund, you are not getting your luggage also, and obviously you didn't get any food and refreshments.
Because one of our crew members said, the ground staff members said, जो लोड करते हैं सामान इंडिगो फ्लाइट में, they are saying कि आपका सामान इसमें लोड हुआ है, बट सब मिक्सअप हुआ है, इधर उधर और कुछ किसी का। यस
ये यार रेज तो नहीं हुआ है ना?
कुछ नहीं हुआ है।
ठीक है, तो ये वाला वैसा कुछ रेज हुआ है ना? नहीं। तो बैग आपको डिलीवर मिलेगा, बैग पीछे से ही नहीं आया है।
कुछ नहीं हुआ ये सब।
अगर ऐसा है तो बैग अपने हाथ से मतलब अप्लाई नहीं किया,
हमको लाके दे दो, हम यहीं पर है, हमको लाके दो। हम वेट का कहे, वेट का करें।
मैं अपडेट पहले लाऊंगा, फिर मैं आपको बताऊंगा। आपको मैं यहाँ पे लाके दूंगा।
ओके,
क्या
मेरा है। आफ्टर दैट उसमें से उन्होंने ये बताया है कि किसी का, और हमने कल भी देखा है 100 के लगेज सबके मिसिंग है। कुछ लगेज ओपन हो चुके हैं, उनमें किसी का लगेज सामान में से चला गया हुआ है। सामान है, बुक सब कुछ चला गया लोगों का, जो यहाँ पे 3 दिनों से है। हाँ, one of my friend, she just lost her husband. She's been standing here from past 2 days.
Oh my
Still
God.
बुकिंग कर रहे, किस चीज का बुकिंग कर रहे हो आप लोग? किस चीज का? हाँ, स्टिल यू आर टेकिंग। इंडिगो का एक पूरा क्रू था जो अभी भी वहाँ पे टिकट बुकिंग कर रहे हैं, जब आपका फ्लाई हो ही नहीं रहा है। अगर फ्लाई गया है तो ये कैंसिल क्यों दिया? मुझे कैंसिलेशन क्यों दिया हुआ है? हाँ, और रिफंड भी नहीं मांग रहा है, हमको रिफंड नहीं दे रहे वो लोग। हाँ, रिफंड मिल रहा है, मैंने पे किया 21,000 और मुझे सिर्फ 13,000 दे रहे हो लोग। मुझे मेरा कंपनसेशन के साथ मेरा जो कल से पूरा जितना भी खर्चा हुआ है, मुझे पूरा 10,000 विद कंपनसेशन चाहिए। आई वांट माय एवरीथिंग, दैट्स इट। मुझे मेरा लगेज चाहिए, मुझे मेरा उसमें डॉक्यूमेंट्स है। द लगेज वाज मिसिंग, उस लगेज में सामान भी मिस हो चुके हैं, किसी का गोल्ड है उसी में।
Wow. I'm really sorry what you're going through, and I really hope, you know, the authorities, the DGCA, the ministry, civil aviation officials are watching this, because basically here's one airline that has taken its passengers for a ride, it's taken the regulator for a ride, and ultimately, we're all sitting here and, you know, like helpless individuals. Nobody is coming out and helping.
Nobody's
Exactly.
responding. And if I ask them in a polite way, they are saying कि चल निकल, तुझे तेरा सामान नहीं मिलेगा. This is how they are treating us.
Okay. We'll come back to Afran. Thank you very much for joining us. That was live from the Mumbai airport. Afran Shah, she's been stuck there for the last 18 hours. No information about her baggage, no refunds. She has a 7-year-old son with whom she's stuck there at the airport. Let me now open this up. Captain Randhawa, you've just heard live what a passenger had to say. I'll go across to Mr. Baputra as well in just a second. But this is unacceptable. In no civilized society should an airline treat its passengers like this. This is, you know, they say the customer is the king. They're treating the customers like absolute slaves. Come on, this is unacceptable.
Jacob, I absolutely agree with every word you spoke. And in the afternoon, we had a meeting with the Honorable Minister and with the DG. at 3 o'clock, all the pilots associations in India. And the FIP stand is, we vehemently said that the airline had 2 years to implement this.
Yeah.
And the airline has not done. And in my 50 years of my aviation experience, I've never seen such a fiasco in my life. Okay, so we have categorically, we had asked him to carry out a high level inquiry, which he has admitted and agreed, and in which the people have to be made accountable and there have to be criminal proceedings against them. They cannot be left with just a sorry or a warning.
Absolutely.
And the airline has to be fined thousands of crores, not 1 or 2 crores. We have been emphatic, and we are also taking up in writing with the minister and with the DGCA, and the copy will be marked to the PMO.
No, so
This
instead
is
of actually holding
nuisance.
this airline accountable, they've actually given them an
Yes.
extension for 2 months now.
Yes,
That's what DGCA
they have
has
given
done.
an extension for 2 months. Now, this is arm twisting. You tell me one thing, when the second phase of the CAR was implemented on 1st of November, there were, how many cancellations are there?
Yeah.
None.
It's been over
Then
a month,
on
exactly.
28th of November, the Airbus came with a airworthiness directive. Again, there were no cancellations. Within two days, they carried out software update on 200 aircraft. There were no cancellation. What bomb did burst on 2nd of December? Till
Yeah.
now, more than 1,500 flights cancelled.
Cancelled,
Even if
exactly.
they are shot by 70, 80, 100 pilots. Okay? Will it lead to 1,500 cancellation? There is much more to this.
No, clearly there
much
is
more
something
to this.
amiss. Clearly there is something amiss. Let me ask Sanjay
There
Lazar. We've also got a couple of callers. I'll go to them in just a second. But Sanjay Lazar, here's the thing. These rules, the DGCA first put out in January of 2024. They were supposed to come into play from June 2024. At that time, all airlines wrote to the DGCA and said, we need time to implement it. So they deferred it. The first phase of it came out in July 2025, 3-4 months back. The second phase of it came into effect November 1. So from November 1 to December 2nd or 3rd. 3rd is when this thing really blew up. It was all going fine. We didn't hear of any mass cancellations. What happened on December 3rd, 4th, 5th that more than 1,000 flights have been cancelled in the last 3 days?
Well, Zaka, thank you for having me. And, as Captain Randhawa said before me, it is absolutely shocking what has transpired before us. It seems totally contrived. Now, Zaka, I'll just take you back. You rightly pointed out between November 1st and December 3rd, what happened. Everything was smooth. All the other airlines are operating. But one fact that nobody is pointing out is that, I've also been flying. I've been in, runs or roster operations at points of time. Every airline runs its roster 3 to 4 weeks prior to a schedule to test the stability of the roster, to test its standard force. Standard force is the number of pilots you require per aircraft. If you've got a fleet of 300 aircraft, you need 7 sets, 8 sets per aircraft. If you knew on the 28th of October that you do not have enough of P1s, then why did you ask for 900 flights more in the winter schedule?
Exactly.
And remember, the winter schedule is 5 months, the summer schedule is 7 months. Yet you asked for extra flights. You knew about this deadline, and Captain Randhawa, the FIP, filed a contempt just last year. So they committed they would complete this in time. So obviously something is amiss. And let me tell you, Indigo otherwise has been the gold standard in operations. So I cannot believe that they did not know they had no pilots. They've stopped recruiting 6-7 months ago.
Yeah, correct.
Obviously they had enough. So there's something amiss. And this is a sheer method of trying to arm twist the government and the DG.
That's the only conclusion that any reasonable person will arrive
we
at.
should not let it happen.
That if these rules were in effect from November 1 and suddenly on the 2nd or 3rd of December this thing exploded and led to 1,500 cancellations over the last 3 days, clearly there is no other conclusion than this is the airline trying to arm twist the government, and the government is buckled. And that is the shameful part. The DGCA has now given another extension to Indigo. Let me get callers in before I go to Mr. Minu Wadia, who is also joining us. Venkatesh is joining us from Delhi. Sorry for waiting for so long, Mr. Venkatesh. Tell us, who should be held accountable for this?
Sir, waiting has become a norm for all the passengers anywhere nowadays, whether it's Indian Airlines, Air India, now Indigo. I think there are a lot of technical, some of the notices are given, so many agencies are involved. Who is thinking about a normal passenger like us? Who some are going for our some death of a relative, for that purpose, interview purpose, marriage purpose, so many other works. We are held up and there is nobody. Somebody comes up and tells we are going to give you a refund, 100% refund. That doesn't happen anytime because I am booking through some yatras, my trip or something like that, and that takes years. And sometimes my booking of COVID time, I have not received my refund as of date.
Okay. All right. Thank you for your call. Let me get Kalyani from Chennai. I also want to play out that couple. They're a newly married couple. They had an Indigo flight. Obviously, the flight didn't take off. The reception was happening in a different city. The couple was stuck at an airport in a different city. And they did their reception through video call. Look at that. They put the couple up on video call. The relatives and the friends and family who've come for the reception are all sitting in the hall in a different city. The couple was supposed to take a flight. They couldn't make the flight, and or the flight got cancelled, and they're doing their wedding reception by video call. Mr. Kalyani is calling us from Chennai. Yes, Kalyani, please go ahead, ma'am.
This is Mrs. Kalyani from
Mrs.
Chennai.
Kalyani,
Yeah. See, the morning there was hardly any information. 3 o'clock they are sending the message, and how do we check up early in the morning, because we have to leave around 4 o'clock. Only then we can reach the early morning flight.
Okay.
So after reaching the airport, they are telling that it's cancelled. After that, there is no guidance, nothing. They are saying you refund it because we are not advising you to, reschedule, or because they are not sure of what is going to happen in a couple of days. So is this the answer that we expect from them? Secondly, I want to understand why is the other airlines hiking up the price three to 4 times. So if we are going to cancel this Indigo, we are supposed to book the another SpiceJet or any other thing. You would check the prices. Air India is costing 40,000. I might go to Europe and come back.
I absolutely agree with you. We got our reporters to do that. Today, a Delhi-Bombay flight, you are not able to get for less than 50,000 rupees. I mean, that's absolutely incredulous. I mean, the DGCA, I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what the ministry is doing. I mean, the other airlines are also profiting from this. Thank you for your call, and I'm sorry what happened to you. Let me also go across to Mr. Meenu Wadia, who's also joining us. Mr. Wadia, I mean, this is the whole thing that people have been saying, that look, you've reduced. Oh, sorry, Mr. Bapotra is joining us. Sorry, Mr. Bapotra. I know you've been waiting for a long time. Please tell us, you were also at the Mumbai airport. How long did you have to wait? Did you finally get your flight? What did Indigo tell you?
To be honest, my sad story started yesterday from England.
Okay.
I traveled from Manchester to Mumbai.
Okay.
Indigo international flight from Manchester was late for 6 hours. It was supposed to leave at 11:30, but instead it left nearly 5 o'clock in the evening.
Okay.
So that started from there. Then I landed at 7:30 in the morning in Mumbai. And I was informed that my flight to Rajkot has been cancelled. So when I reached there, it was a chaos. It was chaotic. Nearly 200, 300 people were on each counter. There was no management of queuing. Nobody was queuing. Everybody was jumping like a fish market on top of each other. It was crazy.
No, and what were they telling you? I mean, the flight has got cancelled. Will they give you an alternate flight?
They gave me an alternate flight, yes, to Ahmedabad. It was not to Rajkot because all the flights to Rajkot were cancelled. So I chose the Ahmedabad one. And then I was sent on level 4 that you go there and check in your luggage and everything, and it should be all okay. Your flight is still delayed a little bit, but it should be fine. So I went upstairs. Upstairs says your flight has gone. You can't go on that flight. It was at 9:30. And then after 40 minutes, she checks again. She goes, "Oh, it's on delay." In that meantime, I was sent to do the security check at Terminal 2.
Okay.
Right? And they told me to take my big bags with me, which is a luggage, 23 kilo bags.
Okay.
And the CISF guy goes, "Sorry, you can't go with the big bags. It's not allowed." I said, "Well, the staff from Indigo is telling me to do so.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm doing this.
Okay.
And I'm forgetting, I had my parents who are 80 years old.
Oh, wow.
And right, there is, I don't know, they are just working and there is no humanity or no compassion. I don't know what to say.
So finally, after how many hours did you get that Ahmedabad flight? Did you manage to get it?
I didn't get to Ahmedabad flight. I didn't get to
You didn't get the
Ahmedabad
Ahmedabad flight. Okay.
No. Then they gave me, they said, oh, bring your bags. We will check in. Your flight is still delayed.
Okay.
So there is time to check in your bags. So they checked in my bags. They gave me a boarding pass.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to do security check again on Terminal 2. So when you scan your boarding pass, it lets you in.
Yeah.
But instead it tells me, go to Terminal 1.
Oh, God.
So because we thought that it is delayed, it is not delayed, it might be on time. So we were running like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And then we reached at Terminal 1.
Okay.
When we reached there, the CSF guy won't let us in. He says, your flight is gone. I say, it's not gone, it's delayed. He goes, please tell them to sort it out. So I went to the Indigo office, which is outside the T1.
Correct, yeah.
Waited there for nearly an hour and a half to get my turn. And then he goes, it's not delayed. It's nearly 12. It's going to be leaving at 12 o'clock at night. I said, what's the point of 12 o'clock at night?
Yeah.
Because I've got elderly people with me, my parents, and they won't be able to hack it. You got no sitting arrangements here. There is nothing to entertain yourself.
Mm-hmm.
There is no food. There is no drinks. There is nothing. Right?
Okay.
So he goes, I understand your situation, sir. We can't help you in that. I said, okay, then provide me accommodation and I will come back at 9 o'clock to board the flight. And then the guy surprisingly says to me, he goes, sir, 99.99% is going to be cancelled and it's going to be the same for next 3 to 4 days.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
So I was given that answer already by the support staff of Indigo.
Uh-huh.
The guy was honest. He goes, it's a chaos. I said, then okay.
So basically, the staff knew. The staff knew that for the next 3 days it's going to be chaotic till this order is withdrawn by the government.
Yes, and I said, if you know that it's going to be chaotic, it's not going to be in fully operational situations, then why the hell are you checking in bags? Why are you still changing people's days?
Why are you checking in bags? Why are you booking flights? We had a lady from Mumbai just now at the airport saying that they are taking new bookings at the airport when you know that flights are not operational. Amazing. Anyway, thank you, Mr. Baputra. Thank you. I'm sorry for the ordeal that you've gone through. Mr. Wadia, sorry for again making you wait. But really, I mean, somebody's got to bell the cat. Some accountability needs to be fixed. I can't understand why the CEO of the airline has not been hauled up, why the people who are running the operations have not been hauled up. Forget about hefty fines. I mean, there should be compensation for every single passenger who was undone over these last 3 days. Every single passenger needs to be compensated. Yes, Mr. Wadia, yes, to you.
This is Captain Wadia.
Yes, Captain Wadia.
Start with. And Zaka, your own statement of mind-boggling is a gross understatement. Positively, it's far beyond a gross mind-boggling. Let me answer your questions in two parts. One is addressing the DGCA and the government, and the next part of it is Indigo. First of all, the flight and duty time limitations, as many people expect, are not for the luxury of crew, for their rest purposes, for their recreation purposes. No, it is purely and purely on safety issues only. This is scientifically calculated, and flight and duty time limitations are put in place purely for safety reasons only. Secondly, the DGCA says, and the minister says, that they've given dispensation to safety. Is he authorized? Is anyone authorized to give a dispensation on safety? Can you say that this aircraft is going to be unsafe partially, but it's not going to be totally safe? So it is totally absurd to say dispensation can be given to start with. Secondly, as far as Indigo is concerned, whatever the regulations were, that the High Court orders, it's a contempt of court. The orders were clearly given that 2 years to implement this plan, if they have not been able to do this, it's a criminal offense. I would say the criminal offense pertains to all the officials who are responsible in the government also for not enforcing this, with the staff and the management of the Indigo airline. Why on earth have this was totally avoidable. This hasn't happened suddenly, and this is not an emergency situation. This is totally avoidable. And
why would they, Captain, why would they give Indigo a reprieve? Basically, they've pushed this now to implementation, I think, sometime in February 2026. Again, what's the guarantee that the airline will be ready by February 2026? Maybe they'll repeat the same drama.
First of all, in my opinion, they are not even authorized to give a reprieve.
Exactly.
Dispensation cannot be given on safety issues. Therefore, there is no question of a reprieve. Whatever consequences, without compromising in safety, should have been borne by the airline to start with. And now, that is a criminal offense. And Zaka, I'm leaving the onus on you as a media today to ensure and tell the people what criminal actions have been eventually taken on all the people concerned. It's a major mess up. It's a major mess up, and it's the responsibility of everyone to ensure that this cannot happen in future, and the rules have been broken. The safety has been broken.
Agencies that need to be called into question, right from the Ministry of Civil Aviation, the DGCA, the Director General for Civil Aviation, the Bureau of Civil Aviation Safety, because at the end of the day, this is directly linked to the safety of flights. I mean, if pilots are not getting and a crew are not getting adequate rest, which is why these rules have come into place, then it directly concerns the safety of the passengers. And all of this has been given short shrift, and now Indigo's got another 2 months to implement these rules. I've got a couple of more callers. You can call us on the number. It's flashing down on your screen. We want to particularly focus on people who've had a harrowing experience at various airports over the last 3 days. I want to go across to Mr. Srinivas from Chennai. Good evening, Mr. Srinivas.
Good morning, evening, Zaka. Two things. One, my nephew has had this problem today. He was supposed to take a flight from Bangalore to Nasik this afternoon with his team because he's going for a football tournament tomorrow. Unfortunately, it is the flight got cancelled, and that too after they had gone into the airport, not before. They had to arrange a bus, which means a 20-hour journey, which left at 5 this evening. So imagine the kind of harrowing time they're going to have. The entire team, they are going to be going for a tournament. Secondly, well, obviously enough discussion has happened about all this issue, but somewhere I think the media has to now take up a movement or a campaign to get the Indigo CEO, the DGCA head, and the Civil Aviation Minister sacked. This is absolutely ridiculous what they are doing, and there's no need to discuss all these committees and all that. The sacking has to happen of these three people now.
Absolutely. I agree with you. There has to be accountability. Thank you for your call. Mr. Ramachandra is calling us from Mumbai. Yes, Mr. Ramachandra. Good evening.
Hello?
Yes. Good evening, Mr. Ramachandra.
Zaka, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yes, go ahead. Yes.
Zaka, hi. Ramchandran here. Nice to be connected with CNN.
Yeah.
I'm a regular watcher of it. Now, the thing is, this last week, my entire family was booked in Indigo. Okay? Now, my sister and my brother-in-law and my our mother-in-law, 90-year-old, they are all in Ayodhya. Since day before yesterday, they are stranded there.
Okay.
Yeah, so they are stranded there, and the hotel. Yeah, so the hotels also.
Yes, go on, please. Go on.
Yeah. So the hotels are also skyrocketed their prices. Now they have been going to the airport at Ayodhya, and they are told that, look, you come tomorrow. That was day before yesterday and yesterday. Okay.
Okay.
And again they went today, and they have said, don't come for next 3 days. Okay.
Wow.
Now, the thing is, I am a senior citizen and a handicap situation. I have booked my Indigo flight on 8th to Chennai for a function.
Okay.
I have booked my return through 13th from Chennai, Mumbai. The point, I'm watching the news for last 4 days. Nobody is talking about a refund.
Yeah.
Now, which door should I knock for the refund? Because if I cancel it, they won't pay me my money.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Now let us say that the situation is not going to be solved. 8th, I'm not boarding the flight. Okay. So let us assume the airline gives me my refund. But 13th, I'm not going to take the flight from Chennai to Mumbai. So what is going to happen to my money?
Exactly. All right. Thank you, Mr. Ramachandran, for your call. I want to go across to Dr. Renu, who's calling us from Delhi. Yes, Dr. Renu.
Hi. I just want to say that, as a citizen, I am just aghast at the fact that the government has bent down on its knees and withdrawn the rules, because this is really about safety of passengers. I don't think anybody, no government has the right to compromise safety of passengers. We just had an accident very recently in Ahmedabad. Let's not please put thousands of people at stake just because you want to give, how can we give 64% of a particular industry to one company? I think it's absolutely unheard of across the world.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Renu, for your call. I think that's a valid point that the last caller made. I mean, basically, and I think the opposition is also raising this, basically there are, two operators in this country. It's a duopoly between Indigo and Air India, and some would say that that's perhaps the reason, Sanjay Lazar, that we've got to this situation. Because today, again, it's not like the other airlines are being very benign or holier than thou about it. I mean, I tried booking an Air India today, Delhi, Mumbai, nothing less than 50,000 rupees. 50,000 rupees, Delhi, Mumbai. Can you imagine?
Yes, Zaka. In fact, my own family flew in from Bangalore to Pune. They circled over Pune for an hour. They were running out of fuel. They landed in Mumbai. Eventually, they managed to get out of the aircraft out of 4 hours. And they took a taxi to come to Pune in the end. So I know exactly what these passengers are feeling. And, the other point, Captain Randhawa said they should be fined thousands of crores. Have you thought of the hundreds and thousands of crores the country has lost?
Correct.
Lost productivity, lost, earnings, revenue, everything. And the other thing is that, look, there's no passenger charter. In this country, we have a flimsy rag. Yes, we're talking about safety. Your last caller was bang on point. You're playing with safety. There's, Captain Wadia rightly said, there's a court-ordered, car, DGCA car. Why are you meddling with it? You've been given. Also, I mean, nobody's spoken about it. Let me just put it out there. Electoral bonds sounds very nice. So, people who pay electoral bonds seem to get favors out of turn. It may be coincidental, but let's look at that.
But yeah, I mean, look, I don't want to jump the gun, but the point is, I think somebody's got to fix this mess. There are two things that stand out for me. Captain Randhawa, please weigh in. Number one, I don't think it is fair that thousands of people have been harassed and harrowed like this for the last 3 days and the airline gets away with it. The airline has to be held accountable. Heads have to roll. There is simply no excuse for it. Two, the reprieve that's been given by the ministry and the DGCA to the airline for another 2 months to implement these rules. Again, I believe that accountability needs to be fixed. If it's the minister, the DGCA head, the BCAS head, I don't know who it is, but accountability needs to be fixed. You cannot tailor-make your rules just because the biggest company is saying, oh, we can't follow them. Captain Randhawa.
Jacob, one more thing I'd like to add to what my other panelists have said, and I've heard the passengers. One very foremost thing which needs to be investigated, that why did this happen on the 2nd? You must understand the parliament was in session and Indigo played this bogey card. Otherwise, there is no reason, there is no shortage. What Sanjay Lazar is saying, there is shortage of crew and all that. That all is run. It can be cross-checked by CNN. They have got more than 5,800 pilots for 413 aircraft. These figures are right, what I'm saying. So they do not have that much of shortage of crew, which led to 1,500 cancellations. It's a criminal proceeding which should be immediately started by the government of India against the airline. The accountable manager should have been sacked by now. There had to be accountability. There is nothing. There is nothing. Nothing. And the poor public of the country is suffering. At every airport, the people are suffering. And no one has come to the rescue in this country.
No, on the numbers, I think Captain Randhawa is on to a point. Can we play that previous graphic on the number of pilots it takes to service all of Indigo's fleet? You just ran that, yeah. So on the Airbus A320s, the number of captains that are required is 2,400. They have currently 2,357. So there's a difference about 50, 60 there, right? So about 50, 60 pilots. Now the one second. The number of pilots required for the Airbus A320, the first officers required, is 2,194. They have 2,153. So again, another 40. So it's just a question of another 100 more pilots. For a company that made 80,000 crores last year's revenue, they can't hire 100 more pilots. Come on.
And 100 pilots, will it cause 1,500 cancellations?
Clearly not. Clearly not.
So they arm twisted the government, and when the parliament was in session, and they said might is right, and the country has to bow down. It is really, really ridiculous, and you're compromising safety.
Captain Wadia.
I'd like to bring in another point. We all consider the DGCA to be the holy cow in aviation.
Yeah.
Please understand that how the DGCA is comprised of only bureaucrats. Let me tell you, I came from the Air Force to Air India as a pilot, and when I realized that at that point in time, there were not a single aviator in the whole office of the DGCA to help out the DGCA, I started this organization called the Federation of Indian Pilots to help the DGCA with advice, but they have never taken advice. They have always considered pilots to be the stumbling block, and the DGCA cannot consider itself to be a holy cow. It is comprised only of bureaucrats. That formation itself is lacking, is wrong there, and that needs to be restructured, the whole office of the DGCA itself.
Okay, let's get our final set of callers in. I think we have 3 or 4 callers. Pankaj is calling us from Mumbai. Yes, Mr. Pankaj, good evening. All right, we've lost Mr. Pankaj. Satya is calling us from Chennai. Yes, Satya, please go ahead.
Zaka,
yes.
While we are now discussing the airline, I'm sure we have more such issues in other industry as well. I think we need to investigate on the monopoly, in mobile or other industry, so that the country is not taken to ransom. And Modi and team definitely will have to be accountable because they have been running the country for 12 years. I think tomorrow if Jio decides to shut down the same way we are seeing in the airline industry, I think India will again come to a standstill because mobile will be completely down.
Okay, Satya, thank you for your call. Let me also get more callers in. Sridhar is calling us from Chennai. Yes, Mr. Sridhar?
Yeah, see, Zaka, today my sister-in-law went to the airport to travel from Chennai to Trivandrum.
Okay.
And then they said the flight is cancelled. They went back home.
Okay.
When they went back home, they got a message saying the flight is going at 9 o'clock. They went all the way back again from the house back again to the airport. And they stood in a queue for a long, long time. When they reached the counter, they said, oh, no, this is just mistake of the messaging service.
Oh,
so
God.
This is how Indigo has blackmailed us.
Oh, God.
Now, I think Modi government must take a few things. At least I will quickly 4 points. Number one, he must sack the minister. Without his knowledge, it could never have taken place. You should not allow him to resign. He must be sacked. Number two, the MP must resign from his post and stand for the election. I don't think this can ever have without his knowledge or without the knowledge of DGCA. And then, as rightly pointed out by the Pilot Association, I think the DGCA must be revamped with more of pilots and the aviators rather than the bureaucrats.
All right. Thank you for your call. Ravi is calling us from Ghaziabad. And we have one last caller after that. Ravi from Ghaziabad. Yes.
Yes. Can I speak?
Yes, please.
I am raising a very serious concerns. Number first, Peter Alvarez should be detained in the custody. He has committed a fraud with all passengers, all the valid ticket holders. This is a financial fraud. And the entire assets of Indigo to be seized by the government, all their planes should be seized by the government and auctioned at appropriate price. And all the sufferers, passengers, should be paid of their sufferings.
Okay, thank you for your call, Ravi. Final caller is Mr. Arun from Chennai. Yes, Mr. Arun.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, yes.
See, this Indigo must be what is called as corporate action, which we see normally in other countries. They must be fined for nearly 2,000 flights cancelled. Average 100 means nearly 2 lakhs people have suffered due to mismanagement by the company. The firm has to be punished financially so that they don't recover and close their airlines. If they are not able to run it, they should not run it.
Thank you for your call. I'll give a final word to Captain Wadia. I mean, you know, abroad they have these things called the class action lawsuits, where a group of people can come together and sue a company or a government, and they get, you know, tens of millions of dollars in settlement. We don't have such a thing in this country. I mean, what is the recourse at the end of the day for the passenger? You heard that lady at the beginning of the show. She spent 21,000 rupees. Now they've cancelled the flight, and they're refunding her 10,000. I mean, bad enough what she's had to endure over the last 2 days.
But we do have similar laws in this country also. And if you summarize this whole conversation that we've all had, all of us have said very clearly, some have said the people should be prosecuted, sent behind bars. Some of us have said very high to be down on in the government.
All right, I think there's a problem with that audio line with Captain Wadia. But I think, just to summarize very quickly in one sentence, I think it's very clear that Indigo has taken its passengers for a ride, and there needs to be accountability for it. And the government has given a further long rope to Indigo by extending these rules. There has to be action, there has to be visible action, and there has to be accountability, which means heads have to roll. There is simply no other way that this problem can be solved. That's it. Thank you very much for tuning in. Have a good weekend. Hopefully you're not flying this weekend. We'll catch you again Monday night, same time.
This is News 8.
सैल्यूट है जी, आप देश की रक्षा में जान लगा देते हैं और आप घर घर में तार लगाते हैं जी। ई बीम टेक्नोलॉजी से बनी, न जले न पिघले, सबकी रक्षा करे।
हम सरहद पर लोगों की रक्षा करते हैं और आप देश के अंदर। सैल्यूट तो बनता है जी।
अपार अणुशक्ति फायर प्रोटेक्ट वायर, अपार देश का तार।
The all-new Hyundai Venue. Tech up, go beyond.
Finessa windows, beautiful and durable designs, installation से maintenance की lifelong customer service। आपके घर में Finesta नहीं है तो कॉल कीजिए।
Find Finer Finesta.
Excellencies, now I respectfully invite Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi ji, to deliver his concluding remarks.
Your Excellency, my friend राष्ट्रपति पुतिन, भारत और रूस बिजनेस के सभी लीडर्स, देवी और सज्जनों, नमस्कार। इंडिया रशिया बिजनेस फोरम, मैं समझता हूँ कि राष्ट्रपति पुतिन का ये बड़ा महत्वपूर्ण इनिशिएटिव रहा कि इतना बड़ा डेलीगेशन लेकर के आज इस कार्यक्रम का हिस्सा बने हैं और आप सबका मैं हृदय से बहुत बहुत स्वागत करता हूं और मेरा भी आप सबके बीच आना एक बहुत प्रसन्नता का अवसर है। इस फोरम से जुड़ने के लिए और अपने बहुमूल्य विचार साझा करने के लिए मैं मेरे मित्र राष्ट्रपति पुतिन का हृदय से बहुत बहुत आभार व्यक्त करता हूं। बिजनेस के लिए सिंप्लीफाइड प्रिडिक्टेबल मैकेनिज्म बनाए जा रहे हैं। भारत और यूरेशियन इकोनॉमिक यूनियन के बीच FTA पर